Good morning, everybody. Here in Stonington, Connecticut, at the Wequeteqouck burial ground. As you can see, this old burial ground goes back to at least 1650, possibly earlier. Stonington was one of the earlier settlements in Connecticut area around 1649, I think. I can't read that one. Either earliest burials, before they had time to carve stones out with names, or they may be Native Americans that were buried here. Up until the early 1700s, Native Americans were the largest portion of slaves. And so if they were associated with any of these families, as servants and that kind of thing, they would have probably been buried here as well. These are probably the most recent burials here. Cheesebrow. William Cheesebrow, the first white settler of Stonington, born in England, 1594, migrated to America in John Winthrop's company, which planted Boston in 1630. After spending a few years in Rehoboth, Boston, with his wife and 4 sons, in 1649 fixed his permanent home in this then wilderness and built his dwelling house not far from this monument. He took a leading part in the organization of the town and the conduct of its early affairs. He died June 9th, 1667. A bold pioneer, a wise organizer, a firm Christian. Stanton. Thomas Stanton, Interpreter General for the New England colonies, died December 2nd, 1677, aged 62 years. He came from England in 1635, was of Boston in 1636, Hartford 1637, and Stonington 1650. Was Marshal of the Colony, County Commissioner, member of the General Court, and one of the founders of the first church in Stonington. A man of widespread and lasting importance to the colonies, and identified with nearly every transaction between the natives and colonists up until the year of his death. Palmer. Walter Palmer, one of the founders of Stonington, emigrated to New England in 1629 and settled in Charlestown, Mass. Became a free man May 18th, 1631, and united with the Charlestown Church June 1st, 1633. Removed to Rehoboth, Plymouth Colony in 1642 and represented that town in the General Court. Came to Stonington in 1652 and lived here until his death, November 10th, 1661, at his home near this spot. Was held the first religious service between the Thames River and Narragansett Bay. Miner. Lieutenant Thomas Miner, born in Chew Magna, Somerset County, England, April 23rd, 1608. He was first by the name of Miner to migrate to this country, coming on the ship Arabella, which reached Salem Harbor June 14th, 1630. He married Grace, daughter of Walter Palmer, at Charleston, April 23rd, 1634. He took up his permanent abode at Quamabog in 1653 or 1654, where he lived till his death, October 23rd, 1690. One of the founders of New London and Stonington, prominent in public office and organizer of the church. So these gentlemen were the early organizers of the colony down here. It is very sunny here. I cannot see the messages too well if anybody's around. I don't think anybody is, but it's early. And I'm checking out this ancient cemetery here in Stonington, Connecticut. It's actually a subsection of Stonington called Pawcatuck, named after the old Indian tribe that lived here. Beautiful day today, Memorial Day 2022. We'll try to read some of the stones here. In memory of Ebenezer Shirley, who died April 8th, 1837, age 63. Memorial to Amos Richardson, 1623 to 1683. Mary Smith, his wife. One of the earliest settlers in Westerly and Stonington, he was an attorney for the Massachusetts colony, member of the General Assembly, and in 1665, attorney for the town of Stonington. He was a trusted colleague of Governor John Winthrop and a man of strong conviction and great respectability. So these may be the original stones for Amos and Mary over there that have obviously deteriorated significantly. And so the descendants have placed a more modern stone here in front, recognizing their ancestors, which is quite common in this area. Descendants of early settlers often do things like that. It's a nice slate stone. Here lieth the body of Lydia Minor. Lydia Minor. I can't tell the date. In memory of Deacon Thomas Minor, who died April 9th, 1739, in the 50th year of his age. So that's held up fairly well over the past 280 years or so since this gentleman's death. Here lies the body of Deacon Manifesh Minor, who died August 22nd, 1728, in the 82nd year of his age. Again, good shape for these two. Beautiful irises here. This looks like an original stone. $1690 is the date on it. This might be the minor that was mentioned on the other big monument in front. Yeah, I think that's what it is, 1690. These old stones are not legible at all. Good morning, Scarlett. Down in Stonington, yes. Just driving back home. I was camping in Rhode Island and decided to stop here, visit some of the old founders of Stonington, Westerly, New London. In memory of Mrs. Margaret Chesbrough, daughter of David Chesbrough, Esquire, who departed this life March 27th, 1782, age 69. Though tender mother of thou, best of friends, farewell. Beautiful day here today. Birds are out. Unfortunately, the sun angle is such that it's making it difficult for me to read the some of the stones because they're all facing that way. The sun's coming up from the east, so the stones are facing the west here. But I'll do the best I can here, and hopefully the phone won't die on me. I came out here before a few months ago. It is a robin. There'll be a spirit visiting me. I mean no harm. I come in peace. In memory of Naboth Chesbrough, who departed this life January 27th, 1804, 53rd year of his age. Memory of Mrs. Phoebe, the amiable consort of Mr. Nahabeth Chesbrough, who departed this life April 22nd, 1787, in the 39th year of her age. Phoebe had some bug eyes there, huh? If that is a likeness of her. FC. There's another Phoebe, wife of Lieutenant Elihu Chesbrough. Died April 8th, 1831, aged 86. So this Phoebe lived a long life. It's not quite common back in those days, but some people did live a long life. So here you see a deteriorated original stone that's been replaced with a more modern stone. I'll try to read it. In memory of William Chesbrough, son of William, who died May 6th, 1798, aged 24 years. Wow. So again, this is an older cemetery. A lot of these stones are gone or very bad shape. But many of the founders of Westerly, Rhode Island, Stonington, and New London are here. Their families, probably Native Americans who were either working with those families or slaves of those families, are buried here as well. I try not to judge everybody, you know, they got their own karma to deal with. But it is a beautiful day today, Memorial Day 2022. Hope everybody's having a nice weekend. Elysia Stanton died April 19th, 1854, age 62 years. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Daughters of the see what that says. Daughters of the 1607 is the date. Nehemiah Palmer. W. Palmer. This must be the William Palmer that's on the monument there, on the original founders. William Palmer, 1585, 1661. So this is basically what they did. If they were wealthy enough to have any sort of stone, they carved out a big block, put the initials, birth year, death year, and dropped it on top of the grave. And there's some dying irises here. So these founders' markers, the one back there with the irises, they seem to be maintained by ancestors. Many of these others, not so much. They're just hanging on. In memory of Elizabeth, wife of Captain Thomas. I can't read the rest. Probably better to come here in the afternoon with the sun behind my back. Maybe a little easier to read some of these. Here lies Thomas Stanton, 1616 through December 2nd, 1677. His wife, Anna Lord, 1614, September 4th, 1688. From England, 1635. Colonial founders of Hartford and Stonington, Connecticut. So this is a modern stone. Again, either placed by a family or by a historical society. But Thomas was an original settler here. Hi, Candid Explorer. How are you, honey? We're at the, I can't pronounce it, it's an old Indian name, Wequeteqouck burial ground in Stonington, Connecticut. Stonington was founded in 1649, and the earliest burials here date back to around that time, 1649, 1650. This road here is called Palmer Neck Road. I guess the Palmer family owned much of the land that goes out that way in the Atlantic Ocean, and Long Island Sound is just yonder there. Maybe another half mile, quarter mile down the road. I am Jay. Thank you. There's a boat launch down there, and I've seen about 5 or 6 boats go by already. People going out enjoying the ocean this beautiful day. In memory of Mrs. Sarah Palmer, relic of Mr. Dennison Palmer, who died January 14th, 1819, age 61 years. Sacred to the memory of Mr. Dennison Palmer, who died June 16th, 1816, aged 81. In memory of Mrs. Mary, wife of Mr. Dennison Palmer, who died February 23rd, 1784, in the 46th year of her age. In memory of Nathan, Mr. Nathan, son to Mr. Dennison and Mrs. Mary Palmer, who died June 8th, 1801, in the 8th year of his age, looks like. So here you see in the middle Mr. Dennison Palmer, and on the right his first wife, and on the left his second wife, which was quite common in those early times, with the women dying from childbirth and that sort of thing. And it was very common for the male, if that happened, to take a second wife to help raise the family. Or, there was a widow with children of her own who remarried to survive, basically, in those tough times. In memory of Lydia, daughter of Captain Joseph and Mrs. Eunice Palmer, who died May 31st, 1823, aged 19 years. Death is a debt to nature due. Death is a debt to nature due, which I have paid, and so must you. So the young lady who died at 19 here, possibly from childbirth. Captain Joseph Palmer, who died October 16th, 1822, aged 80 years. $30 years or 80 years, I can't tell. No, that's 80. So could Lydia be the daughter of Joseph? I don't know. Possibly. Because Joseph would have been 59 or so when Lydia was born. I suppose it's possible, but that would be unusual for a man of that age to be siring children. Me being 58, I have no intention of siring any more children. Thank you. I've done that and raised them, and I have grandkids, and I'm quite happy with that. Thank you. In memory of Captain Daniel Firth, who departed this life something 1788, in the 60th year of his age. James Palmer, who died June 20th, 1798, 74th year of his age. He lived, beloved, and died lamented. Such is life. The reality of life is death, that's for sure. In memory of Mrs. Hannah Palmer, relict of Mr. James Palmer, who died April 4th, 1814, in the 85th year of her age. Grace first inscribed my name in God's eternal book. Can't tell what that says there. So some of the second and third generations of these families, the stones are much better shape. You know, these dying in the early 1800s, late 1700s, they're certainly better shape than the whatever stones remain from the 1600s.
They have a website.
I know.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thank you.
Most people don't.
What's that?
Most people don't know that.
Oh yeah, it's very. I love the history here.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, ladies. Have a nice day. Palmers, Chesbrows, Miners, and I think Stantons were the other major families here. In memory of Mrs. Summit, wife of Samuel Chesbrough, who died December 12th, 1835, aged 91. The days of our life are 80 years and 10, and if by reason of strength they be 80 years, yet is their strength labor and sorrow. It is soon cut off, and we fly away. The white marble is cleaned, which means the cemetery is fairly well maintained, the surviving stones. Many of these older cemeteries I visit with these white marble type stones are pretty much black from all the pollution and whatnot if they're not maintained. But either a historical society or ancestors will come here and clean these things off. I think all of these are clean for the most part. So I would think that they have either a historical society or a cemetery maintenance type organization that keeps these in decent shape. Virginia Dene McCurg, wife of Gilbert McCurg, daughter of Dr. and Mrs. William Doney, born 1857, New York, died 1931, Stonington. So that's the main part of the cemetery, and we come here to the end. We see a lot of stones, a lot of field stones, larger field stones. I can't tell if these were just moved here in clearing the other area for burial, or if these were actual burial plots. They could be, certainly. There's a couple here that may be readable. Let's see what this says. Grace and Fred Kent. Grace Alfred Kent. 1867, 1927. Yeah, I don't know what's in this area. They could be slaves, Native Americans, or just an empty area. I don't think they would leave an area this size empty. I think there would be some burials here. And then here on the edge, we see a 20th century burial from 1927. Looks like a footstone here. Yeah. Lucretia Durland, June 3rd, 1821, February 1st, 1895. Thomas Durland, March 16th, 1846. June 11th, 1908. Ashes enclosed in this dye. So here we have what's called a cenotaph, I think is the pronunciation. It's a stone for somebody who's not buried here. It says, "My husband, Coddington B. Palmer, died in California, March 1852, aged 42. So this could be somebody who went west in search of the gold rush and ended up dying, and the wife got news of his death and placed the stone here in his memory. (1818). 29 years old, I think it says. In memory of Eliza Buell, wife of Hampton Brown, who died August 22nd, 1835, aged 42 years. Again, we come to the monument here with the four founding families. Lieutenant Thomas Minor. William Chesbrough. Thomas Stanton. William Palmer. And so this will be my video for today for Memorial Day 2022. I hope everybody enjoys your Memorial Day. Go visit your relatives, your deceased loved ones, if you can. Pay respects. Good morning, Spooky. You're catching the tail end here, honey. I'm about ready to sign off here in Stonington, Connecticut. But thank you everybody for stopping by and watching my video. It'll post quickly here after maybe 10-15 minutes of rendering, and you should be able to rewatch the whole thing if you want to do that. But beautiful day today. Go out and enjoy your day, everybody. Thanks for watching. Take care.